Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara Show. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. I feel like I did a lot, but I really didn't. Saturday, I went to my parents' house for breakfast, which I do almost every week. Sunday, we stayed home. Usually on Sundays, we go to Nick's parents' house for dinner. But we went to Naples and we went to a little bit of a crowded beach, so we decided to stay home until we got our COVID test results, just in case. Nick and I are kind of like the weird people who are still very much quarantining as much as we possibly can. So yeah, that's us. Also, over the weekend, I thought about maybe going blonde, but then I did one of those what do you call them, like 3D experiences where you like put your camera on and then it changes your hair color. I don't look good blonde, guys. I'm too yellow for that, like really, really yellow. so maybe I'll just stick to my dark hair or go a little red. I think that's a little better. Anyway, off topic. I have a question for you today. What do you like more? Do you like coffee or do you like tea? I was curious over the weekend because Nick loves coffee. He drinks 1 cup of coffee every single day. And I love the taste and the smell of coffee. Like, I just think it tastes so good. But sometimes it makes me jittery. So I try to stay away from it because I already have so much energy, like naturally. I'm already like, go, 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 go. So I go for tea most of the time. Oh no, what's going on with the camera? Okay. Okay. Anyway, I want to know, do you like coffee or tea? Which one are you? I want to get started because last week we talked about what to do if you didn't reach your goals for 2020. And that live stream was really, really good. I got so much feedback from you guys and you loved it. And I love that you loved it. I love that it was so helpful. If you haven't watched it after you watch today's episode, definitely go back and watch it because it's really powerful. Today we're going to talk about what it's actually going to take to reach your goals this year, right? So we process what we process. Whatever happened last year happened. Some of you killed it in some areas, some of you didn't in others, and that's okay, myself included. That happens every year. But now there's an entire year ahead of us. So how do we guarantee that we achieve what we want to achieve? Let me just look through comments really quickly. Hello, good morning, everyone. No blonde. Yes, I'm probably going to show you guys a picture one time because it looks horrible. Tea, definitely. What's your favorite tea? I'm curious. I love the taste of coffee, but I do tea because it feels better. Yes, that's my experience too. Definitely coffee. Gotta have my coffee. I know Nick is like that's like his religion. Like every day he needs to have coffee. Thankfully he only does 1 cup per day. Okay, so before we begin, have you signed up for my goal setting party? We have over 50 people signed up for it already. It's next Tuesday. It's going to be live at 6 p.m., I believe, if I'm not mistaken. What we're going to do is all of us together, a group of incredible women and myself, we are going to go through my unique goal setting process. We are going to set you up for success for this year. Literally, you're going to come out with everything that you need to have planned in order to achieve what you need to achieve. So if you haven't signed up, the link is up there. Definitely join us. If you're not going to be able to join us live, totally fine. There's going to be a replay, but you all know that the live experience is so much better. But it doesn't matter if you're not available working or you have something else, you can still catch the replay. And as always, I go back to the comments. So I'm going to be there to support you no matter what. Definitely sign up for it. It's going to be super fun. I do this I don't know if I did it last year, but I do it most years. I charge for this workshop. I have charged hundreds and hundreds of students to go through this workshop with me. This year, because last year was such a crazy year, I want to give back to you guys and I want to do it for free. I want to make sure that I'm providing you with as many resources that I could possibly provide you with so that this year is your best year in life and business yet, okay? My favorite tea is pretty much anything from David's. Ooh, never heard of that brand. Very nice. I must look it up. Okay, so let's begin. I have so much to say today. So, how do we guarantee that we actually achieve our goals this year? Don't throw like tomato and lettuce at my face because you've seen this performance before. If you watch this show every Monday at 10 a.m., you know that you've heard me say this before. But here's the number one thing. The number one thing that needs to happen if you want to set yourself up for success is we need consistency. Okay, here's where I'm like expecting a whole bunch of like virtual tomatoes and a whole bunch of booze because I have said this many, many, many times. But think about it. Probably the reason why some things weren't achieved last year, it's not because you didn't try. It's probably because you tried a little bit and then you stopped, right? Everyone, myself included. Every goal that I shared with you last week that I didn't achieve has an element of lack of consistency that wasn't done. Now, here's the thing. Life goes ups and downs, so it's up and down. So it's really easy for us to, oh no, my AirPods are not connected. Let's see if that helps. Um, it's really easy to sit here in January, first month of 2021, and be like, yes, we're going to stay consistent. That's like the number one thing that Barb says I need to do, so therefore I'm going to do it. Super easy, month one of moving towards our goals. But the thing is, the realistic side of consistency is that 2021, although we're all expecting it to be a way better year for everyone, God willing, there's still going to be a lot of ups and downs. It's life, it happens. On a day to day basis, there's going to be a whole bunch of ups and downs. On a week to week basis, there's going to be a whole bunch of ups and downs. And on an overview of the whole year, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. So, consistency usually fades away when we're going through difficult areas or even difficult moments, or even when we're going through difficult emotions or thought patterns, right? And that's when we let consistency fall off the wagon. So, what I want to do today is I want to give you a really powerful tip, and I also have other suggestions. So, stick till the end because the last one is super important. But I'm going to give you a tip of how you can actually stay consistent in the long run and not just for like a week. Allow yourself to practice imperfect consistency. That consistency nonetheless. Okay? It's really easy to show up when things are going well. It's really easy to show up when we have energy and when we're in a good vibe or whatever. It's really easy. But what happens is when it gets a little hard, when things get a little messy, when we start doubting or when something comes up, it's really hard for us to do it perfectly, right? So, what I want you to do in 2021, and I want you to try this differently, is allow yourself to do it imperfect, right? So, consistency one week may look like you writing what looks like to you crappy content, or consistency next year may look, next month may look like not running for 30 minutes like you had all of January, but for 15 minutes instead because you have a really busy month, right? So allow yourself to practice imperfect consistency because imperfect consistency is so much more powerful and so much more effective and conducive to achieving your goals than the ups and downs of doing something, then not doing something, doing something, and then not doing something. Is this making sense? Is this resonating? Are you guys like throwing virtual tomatoes at my face right now? What are your thoughts? I want some feedback. Give me some validation. This is just the beginning. We have more to go, but I want to make sure that this really sinks in because it's so, so important. What I find a lot with my high achieving clients and my type A clients, which are probably pretty much all of my clients, is that they have so much perfectionism within them, right? Because they're like, they want to do things right, they want to do things perfect, and that backfires because the week that it doesn't look perfect, then they decide to step away from it rather than lean into it really, really imperfectly. That's how you're going to be able to keep moving towards your goals no matter what happens. Okay? Imperfect consistency also looks like if you had to get surgery for a week, you give yourself a week to rest and then you hop back on the game. You don't think to yourself, oh my God, this happened and that's it. I messed up all of this month, right? Which is what a lot of people do. Or like, I'll start again February 1st or March 1st, right? Consistency looks like maybe hopping on a live stream and not doing your hair the way you wanted it, right? Versus not hopping on the live stream at all. Consistency looks like doing a follow up while you're waiting at the DMV versus not doing your outreach flow at all that week. Is this making sense, right? Like, or it may look like, I'm trying to think of another example. It may look like, eating boring grilled chicken again, right? Like leftover grilled chicken so that you can stay under your daily calories versus going to Chick-fil-A and getting food because you don't have anything new to cook, right? Like it's imperfect, it's messy, it's okay. You're still moving forward on a consistent basis, okay? Let's see. One part at a time, one day at a time, and within reason, we can accomplish any goal we set for ourselves. Amen. Amen. I literally don't know why this is not showing me names anymore. I just clicked on something. Hopefully that helps. But whoever said that, amen. So that means do it anyway. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yes, 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 yes. Exactly. Okay, so let's move on. So I could sit here today and list all the advice that all coaches are giving right now. I can tell you, you got to set smart goals and you have to set big goals or you have to set small goals. Or you have to set stupid goals or plan 90 days at a time, hire support, and mega yes to hiring support if you need that. But that's not the point, right? Like it's not really about like take massive action, take baby steps, take a break, listen to your gut, start small, step out of your comfort zone. Don't let fear be the driver of your life, and the list goes on and on and on. And you can see that some of this pieces of advice to achieve goals contradict each other. Like some people are going to be saying like set really big goals, and then some people are going to be saying like set really small goals, and then some people are going to be saying like um step out of your comfort zone and push through fear no matter what if you want to achieve your goals. And then other people are going to be saying like listen to your gut and be flowy and do things that feel really good. And a lot of this advice contradicts itself. All of it is good, all of it works, right? Like depending on the type of person that you are, if you are taking the right pieces of advice, they're going to be helpful on your journey. But the point is that that's not the real foundation of how you're going to achieve your goals next year, right? That's not the real thing that's going to help you propel towards success like you never had before. Those are tools, right? Like they're ways of operating, they are things that will help you, right? They're not everything. They're not everything. And that's why they can contradict each other. It's because they're helpful for some and they're helpful for others, and they're just a piece of achievement. They are not the thing. They're not, oh my God, this is right because so and so said I need to set big goals, and this is wrong because so and so said I need to set baby steps, right? If I look at all of my clients, like I have my client roster in front of me, their way of goal achievement is so different for each of them, right? Like some of them thrive on like super massive scary goals. Some of them thrive on like really listening to their gut and like following their intuition. And then others are like, no, big scary goals are just like so pressure provoking for me and I just have to focus on the step by step. So if I look at all of my clients, I can see why, if that's the general advice that people are giving, not only does that feel overwhelming, but it's also not that effective. Is this making sense? Oh, Stormy. Oh, of course, always dropping your wisdom on Mondays. I miss you so much. I love having you here. So these are not the real foundations to achieving your goals. They're not. It's not that it's bad advice again. It's just that they're the byproduct of the one thing that I really want to drill into your mind today, right? So all of that, it's not bad advice. We're going to go through a lot of that in the goal setting party next week, right? Like we're literally going to goal set and plan, going through my unique process. It's called RDPM. Super awesome. We start with reflection, we end with manifesting. It's really fun, but they're not the real thing. What I really, really want you to understand today is that if you want to reach your goals next year, and like what it truly, truly will take is that you need to redefine yourself. When I say that, what do you think that means? When I say redefine yourself, what do you think it means? Drop me some ideas as to what you feel that I'm about to say. Here's why this is the foundation to goal achievement. There's a quote, and I'm going to like butcher it. I'm not going to say it correct because I don't remember it, but it goes something along the lines of if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always gotten. It goes something along like that, right? Like if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten. So when we're setting goals, whether it's for a business, whether we want to start hitting consistent 5K months, or whether it's for our personal life, we want to start dating again, or we want to lose weight, or we want to transition out of our boring, draining job into a fulfilling, good paying one. Those are things that the current version of ourselves are comfortable with. It's what we know, right? Like we know to reach out for a bag of chips at the end of the night. That's who we are. We know to be inconsistent in our business, right? That's who you are. That's who we are. That's who the current version of ourselves is. And that's why we have gotten the results that we have gotten. Okay. Now I'm trying to speak to like every goal in general, right? Like business, client generation, weight loss, dating, career. But it's easy to do and to get what we have gotten. In order for us to get something different, it's going to take for us to redefine who we are. And what that means is that it's not really about what you're doing. What you will find is, you're going to kill me for this. I'm going to get a whole bunch of virtual tomatoes today. But what I find over and over again is like when my clients start working with me, and I have to give you business examples because obviously that's what I do all day, every day. When my clients come to me, they're doing, most of the time, they're doing a little bit here and a little bit there for their business. And a lot of times, once they start reaching their goals, their client goals, their income goals, their money goals, their structural goals, like once they start reaching their goals, it's not that a lot of things change, right? They're still probably doing some of what they were doing when they first came to me. It's just that they've redefined themselves and they've redefined what they believe to be possible for them. And they've redefined the way that they show up. Okay, meaning they may come to me and they're writing a little bit of content, they're doing a little bit of marketing, maybe they've grown their communities a little bit, right? So like they're doing the thing, but they're not getting the results. So if they're already doing the thing and they're not getting the result, what is it going to take for us to get the results? To literally redefine what you believe it's possible for you and redefine how you show up for it. Okay, that sometimes look like getting really good at rejection, right? Like redefining the way that you view that. If someone says no, are you going to go back to your old pattern of like shelling in, not showing up for your business, feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you suck, taking like a 2 week break because someone said no? Or are you going to redefine who you are, which is a wildly profitable CEO and who you want to be? And you're going to be like, cool, this is a no, this is just part of the process, upwards, onward and upwards. I'm going to keep going. I know who I am. I know what I want, right? And it really just takes a lot of shifting how you react to things, shifting how you move towards things, shifting the way you think about things. Yeah. So there's a ton of mindset work that goes into this. So much mindset and confidence work. Like a lot, guys. A lot. Um, I a few weeks ago I shared my story of like how a couple of months in my business last year were tough. And I promise you, when they stopped being tough, when I started creating what I was used to creating, it's not that I was doing a lot of things differently, it's that I was thinking different, I was believing different, I was showing up more, um, eh, from a different way of operating. Is this making sense? I have to ask all the time because I feel like a lot of the things that I teach here and that I share here are like so ingrained in me. I like coach around this all the time. I talk about this all the time. So to me, it makes total sense, but I always need to make sure that it's making sense to you. Okay. What else do I have for you? Okay, so if you're someone who's been trying to see like a lot of business growth for a while, okay, and you've been doing, but you're not seeing the results that you want, it's because you are just doing and you are not being. Okay, you're expecting to build a profitable business, a six-figure business, whatever your personal income goal is. You're expecting to build, I have clients even going for like 500,000, multiple six figures, like whatever that is. If you're doing, and you're not seeing the growth, it's really because you haven't stepped into that next version of yourself. It's really because you're not standing in your power and moving towards things from a different version of you. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's making sense. It's making sense. I love hearing that. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Amen. Stormy, like your nuggets of wisdom are just like my favorite thing. I love them. Thank you. Keep them coming. So true. Okay, so it's making sense. Let's keep on going. Okay, so that's literally what I just said. It's really easy to think that we can build a business on a to-do list. No, right? To like crossing things off a to-do list does not equal success in your business. And again, if you're someone who's been trying to do that for a while, you're probably a little frustrated because you're like, but I cross all the things off. I do all the things that people tell me to do, and it's just not working. I promise you that there's an element of internal shifts that needs to happen. Okay. There's an element of like, you're just crossing things off from the version of yourself that you are right now, which is probably a version that feels frustrated. It's probably a version who believes less and less that it's possible for you to make it happen. It's probably a version who, it's just doing things, but as you're doing them, you're like, this is never going to work. No one is never ever going to hire me. You're doing it from a place of maybe desperation. You're doing it from a place of lack of confidence. You're doing it from a place of like fear or stress or frustration, right? Think about it. The when you redefine yourself, like think about yourself 6 months from now. Let's say you're like a completely new person and your business is thriving, you've achieved certain goals, you've lost the weight, you started dating, you've changed careers, whatever. You've had more fun, you've gone on more adventures. How would that version of you act and think differently? It will probably be so different to the way that you're operating today. And this is for everyone. Like even myself, when I'm thinking about going to the next level, which I do a couple of times a year, it's never the same way that I'm operating. There's usually something that needs to change. There's usually something new that I need to believe, right? Because a lot of people have this misconception of like, yeah, but when I get booked out with clients, like I will be fine, right? Like I'll know how to scale forever and ever. And it's like, yes, but also the same struggles that you had before you got booked out with clients are the same struggles that are going to come up when you decide to raise your prices and get booked out with clients, right? Like new devil, same devil type of thing. Like you're going to have to build your confidence. You're going to have to believe that it's possible for someone to charge you double. You're going to have to be extremely resilient in order for you to move towards that fast and effectively. Yeah. Okay. So a to-do list is just a tactic. They're just something to aid you in the process of achievement, but they're not the whole process. So if you're doing and scratching things off your to-do list, congratulations. That's half of the battle, right? Like at least you're taking action. Now, now we need to step into a new version of you. You need to redefine who you are and what you believe it's possible for you. You need to allow things to come to you, right? Like stop persisting in. A lot of times we're like, okay, I'm gonna do and I'm gonna do and I'm gonna take action and I'm gonna take action, but like internally, like we're resisting the result that we want, right? Um, this happens a lot when, like, for example, you're talking to a new client, a potential lead, and then the person's like, let me think about it. Like, I really, this feels really good. I'm really into it. I just need 24 hours to think about it, right? When you've redefined yourself to the level that you want, here's what the version would say and feel. Amazing. I love that. She's a total yes. I'm detached from the outcome, but I just have a good feeling that this is going to come to me because I am worthy of it, because I am enough, and because I am allowing myself to receive. That's the redefined version of you versus potentially, perhaps, the current version of you who is like, oh my God, she says she's going to think about it. And in the past, people have said that they're going to think about it and then they never reach back out to me. And then they said yes and then they said no. And then I expected and then I get disappointed. And there's like so much resistance and so much hesitation around the situation. Do you see the difference? One situation is going to make you obsess over it, and it's just going to make you feel really, really bad and probably repel the opportunity. And the other situation is just going to make you feel expansive, confident, detached, and it's also not going to make you obsess over one little thing on your business and make you keep moving forward to achieve other things from other angles. Make sense? Yes? Thumbs up? No? Let me know. Okay, I think that's pretty much the main gist of what I want to say today. So yes, it makes sense. This is the best way to start my Mondays. Oh, yes, I love this. It's literally the best way to start my Mondays. I look forward to this so much. You guys honestly light up my week. You're like the best way to start what's coming ahead. So thank you for joining us live. You are truly amazing. I literally love supporting you and guiding you and just making sure that you have everything that you need to reach your goals, achieve your dreams, build your business, and all the things in between. I hear so much from you guys, gratitude in the sense of like, thanks for helping me with my business, but also these are the byproducts that are also happening in my personal life. I see this a lot with my clients. So it's really an honor to be here. So thank you. Thank you. I love how you focus on mindset because I have too much on my to-do list. Yeah. And look, I'm a believer in both, right? Like I'm a believer, like, yes, you can have all the mindset that you have, but if you don't have a strategic uh roadmap and you're not taking action towards that, it's going to be really hard. And the same thing, it's like you may have a strategic roadmap, but if you don't have the mindset and you don't redefine yourself and your capacity to receive and achieve, it's going to be really hard, right? Not impossible, but definitely hard, and it will take longer. But I wanted to focus on the internal piece because so many, well, first of all, we're going to focus on the strategic piece in the goal setting party. Promo again, if you haven't signed up, come on over and join us. We're going to focus a lot on the strategic piece, right? Like we're going to come out with like a specific roadmap. Like the strategy is going to be there. But what I find over and over again is that that's usually the easy part, right? Like setting goals, writing to-do lists, breaking it down into like a very unique roadmap, very unique strategies. Like that's somewhat easy. What's hard is stepping into the version of yourself who is consistently moving towards that. Imperfectly, consistently, but consistently nonetheless. I'm literally gonna have my assistant make that a quote for my Instagram this week because it's really what I want to hone into today. Okay, so any questions, any feedback, any what do you call it? Nuggets of wisdom, anything that you want to share around goal setting. I would love to know, now that we've gone through this whole episode, I would love to know, who do you have to be, right? How do you have to think? And what habits do you need to step into to achieve your goals this year? Tell me everything. What scary moves do you need to make? What things do you need to stop procrastinating on? Start redefining yourself. A lot of times, writing it down and sharing it in a safe space like this. Literally, like, my group is probably one of the safest space in the internet. Like, we have zero hate, zero bullying. I think I've had like one really intense post in the past, and we always monitor that and we make sure that it doesn't happen. This is a super supportive space. You guys are constantly motivating each other. So starting to think about, like, okay, how am I redefining myself this year? How am I going to think differently? How am I going to do things differently? What is going to change about who I have been being to who I will be? And writing it down and sharing it, it's just such a good way of accountability. A lot of times we're like, okay, cool, I heard that, now let me think about it, and I keep it to myself. And a lot of times just expressing it and being vulnerable and being like, yeah, this is who I'm gonna be, this is who I'm committed to stepping into, adds a layer of motivation and encouragement and excitement, right? Because it's out there in the open. It's not just something, another one of the million things that your brain is thinking about. Yeah. Let's see. Another. We cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. Absolutely. It literally, like, so relatable to that first quote that I share. So couldn't agree more. That is the whole purpose of today. I'm redefining myself as someone who doesn't get slowed down when I get a no. Yes. Okay. I'm so happy I brought that example because I feel like that's like a universal example that most people experience, right? And again, the misconception of like, oh, you only experience that when you're starting out, when you don't have a lot of clients. Misconception. It's not true, right? Like, when you're first starting out, like, yes, you need to redefine yourself to not get slowed down when you get a no so that you can keep going. But it's not like it's the end all be all. Like, it's not like when you go from charging like 300 to 2,000, you're not going to experience that anymore, right? Like, there's still going to be things that come up. And the better that you get at redefining how you are and how you act, the more consistently you can do it every time the phase in your business or your life comes up where you're going to have to do it. Love you guys so freaking much. Thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, I love you equally as much. Drop comments, ask me questions. You know I always come back to support you. Yeah, if you haven't joined us for the goal setting and planning party, definitely join us. You will get the replay if you can't join us live, but I know so many of you are going to come join live and it's going to be awesome. Other than that, you will see me throughout the week in this script. I will see you guys on Monday for another episode, and I will see you on Tuesday for the party. Also, I always have to say this. You're going to notice that the goal setting and planning party is going to be in this group. Usually when I do a free event or a free workshop, which is pretty much every month, I do a challenge or I do something for free to support you guys, it's in the group. So a lot of people think like, well, why should I sign up if you do it in the group? Well, first of all, I don't always do it in the group. Sometimes I have a pop-up group that only people who are signed up go to. But also, you don't get any bonuses, any resources, any workbooks. You don't get anything unless you are signed up to the event. If via your email address and whatever. So you may be able to join us, but you're not going to have the workbooks to follow along with. Or if I ever do a bonus, you're not going to get that either. Or let's say I do a 24-hour sale for something after the workshop. Only if you are signed up will you get that. So yes, sometimes they're public, and yes, sometimes a lot of people can watch it, but only if you're signed up do you get the whole shebang. Have an amazing rest of your week, guys. Thank you for being here. I will see you on the next episode of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara show, Mondays at 10. Bye, everyone.